Thunder's Mouth Theatre presents Am I Old Yet? Season 7, Episode 9, A Bit of a Kerfuffle, Part 2. Helen, Janie, Jonathan and Deji are at the awards ceremony for the Philanthropist of the Year. Helen is about to discover, finally, how her particular superpowers, plural, are going to come in very handy indeed. I hope you enjoy this, the grand finale of this particular season. And if you do, I hope that you'll share it with your friends, like, follow, subscribe on your podcasting app, or review and donate on the website amioldjet.com, so that I can continue to create more for you. Hi, Gran. I hope this is a good time. I just had to call up to see how it all went. Oh, was it not on the TV in Australia? No, all we've heard is what the news programs are saying. There was a bit of a kerfuffle. You could say that. Okay, well, spill the beans. Well, it was interesting, as they say in the classics. We arrived at the hotel. The press were all there. Joey and Georgie did a great job. There were news reporters and the TV vans all waiting. And when we got inside, would you believe it? The Greek gods were all lined up pretending to be statues. Hysterical. And Jonathan, your dad, had organised a table for us all, so there we were, enjoying the lovely meal. And then they announced the nominations for the awards, and Oh, Dad's boss, Deji Gomez. Absolutely. Well, he'd guessed it right. It went to the Fossil Beaches people. And then there was the Secretary of State for the Environment and Food Production. He who had actually cut the funding to the climate change research groups, up there at the mic, bold as brass, banging on about what wonderful things the government is doing and how much money they've spent on saving the planet, how amazing it all was. Nothing to do with the philanthropic work we were supposed to be there to celebrate. And I'm getting a bit hot under the collar thinking, you effing hypocrite. Gran! Sorry, not sorry. I was so angry. And of course, I wasn't just thinking it, I'd said it out loud. And everyone turned to look at me and I was deeply embarrassed. Anyway, the Secretary of State for talking rubbish carries on with his wonderful speech making about how his government was tackling climate change, as if. But Mary comes down to our table and she says, What is it, Helen? And I say, But Mary, he's talking rubbish. He's not even telling the truth. He's just making it up as he goes along. I know. We all know. But there's nothing I can do about it. It's more than my job's worth. But you could say something. Really? Yes. Do it, Mom.
Go on, Helen. You'll be fine.
Please, Helen, do it.
Go on, Helen.
But I don't know what to say.
Yes, you do, Helen. Trust yourself. Be spontaneous. Use your trickster nature. Believe in yourself.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, wow, great.
And Susie, Hermes keeps whispering to me, trust yourself.
But wasn't he one of the statues?
No, that's the thing. He'd transformed himself into the butterfly on my shoulder that everyone thinks is a brooch. So then Mary grabs my hand and starts to drag me up towards the podium, and all the security guys suddenly appear, and they're about to grab hold of me.
No.
Yes, but Hermes whispers in my ear, Get rid of them. So I just blew, just a little puff of air, and they fell backwards. And Mary and I kept going, and the government minister's going, No, you can't come up here. This is me. I'm giving my speech. Where's security? So I blew him away. Susie, it was so much fun. And then, before I could say a word, the security guys are all up again and starting to approach. So Hermes flies off my shoulder in his butterfly form, transforms himself into a very angry, scary hyena, and just dances around them and growls, and they're all going, Who let the dogs in? And they couldn't even tell the difference between a dog and a hyena. And the big boss for talking garbage, he's flat on his bottom at the side of the stage. So Mary takes the microphone and hands it to me. And I say, Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, not sorry if you know what I mean, but this gentleman, the things he's saying. Look, I know I'm talking as much nonsense as he is, but the thing is, we all know. We've got a problem. We know the Earth can't continue to carry all the rubbish that we keep piling onto it. And landfill, we've probably got more landfill spaces now creating ghastly gases than we have housing estates for people on low incomes. And it's unsustainable and it's outrageous. And this is supposed to be a civilized society. What is civilized about the way we're living at the moment, where built-in obsolescence is a thing? Where children can drop litter but they're not allowed to pick it up? Where we let people who have enough money to do whatever they want just do whatever they want, and our government sits back and boasts about it. Now, I don't want to slander anybody, but we know that there is corruption. We know it's there. What's wrong with the press? Why aren't they investigating? Oh yes, I know you're here. I know the press is here. I arranged for you to be here. Look, I am not a politician or an organizer. I write poetry and I edit books, at least I used to. But I do know something about nature, just as this beautiful goddess Demeter over there, goddess of nature, and her beautiful daughter Persephone, who represents the spring that comes to delight us every year. They know about it. They knew about it aeons before we woke up to it, but by golly, we have to wake up to it. We have to address it. So, what do you want? What do I want? I'll tell you what I want. What I really, really want. Sorry to plagiarize, but I want a working party that actually works, of climate scientists and biologists and farmers and food suppliers and the makers and purveyors of plastics and these fabulous philanthropists. And I want them to come up with a plan. And I'd lock them in a room until they did if I had my way. But okay, yes, a plan to regulate the way we use our waste. If we didn't have regulations for the past 20, 30, 40, 60,000 years, what kind of a society do you think we'd be living in? We wouldn't. Because we wouldn't be alive, because that's what our ancestors figured out. We had to build systems of governance to keep ourselves reasonably safe, because some people are greedy, and some people are addicted to power. But we can't just let them have it. We have to stand up for ourselves. And all you politicians can do is sit around protecting your little plans because you invented it.
Oh, Gran, good for you. Oh, that is just amazing.
Anyway, Susie, darling, I did bang on.
Oh, but what about the gods and goddesses? They said something on the news about statues coming to life.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, the thing is, as I was talking, I didn't realise until I stopped for breath, but the gods had started moving in so slowly that nobody noticed that they were moving. It was like a Japanese Buto performance until they were actually moving up the stairs. And then, of course, everyone could see them. It's all on camera. You want to check your TV? Oh, no, probably more on YouTube or TikTok. But yes, they moved so slowly, still pretending to be statues, creeping up the stairs until they formed a semicircle around Mary and me. And the place was deadly quiet. And so then I waited until they were all up there behind me. Well, except for Hermes, because Hermes, very clearly, in front of everybody, transformed himself from the hyena back to the butterfly and came back and settled on my shoulder. And oh, it was the most beautiful thing to see. Now, you probably all think this is a trick, a magic trick. Greek gods? They never existed, did they? Well, have I got news for you. How could they cancel that, by the way? No, those gods did exist, and they do exist, and they're here with us tonight. They never left. They've been waiting and despairing at what we mortal humans have been doing. They know that we can't stop the progress of climate change unless we clean up our mess. And the thing is, you know, and I know, that one person putting out the recycling to be collected by the council doesn't make a huge difference to the whole catastrophe that we've got marching on. But actually, You'd be surprised at how much power each of us actually does have. We've all got our own talents, every single one of us. If you just look for it, you do and you can make a difference, no matter how small. Some of you people in this room, you have actual power. You have control. Or you have the ability to speak to people in power and you know who they are. And we know who you are. So we, my friends and I, here, we will be holding you to account. You've got 6 months to actually make sure that things are put in place. You have to change laws, do it. You have to create regulations, do it. Look, goodness sake, your predecessors managed to get us all to wear seatbelts, stop us all, protect our children from having disgusting, terrible head injuries. You managed to outlaw, in most of the world anyway, those horrible CFC gases that were destroying the ozone layer. You know it can be done. It's all about political will, power. And some of you have worked long and hard to get that power. So how about this? You have 6 months starting now. I don't believe in building tension. There's enough tension in this room already, not to mention the planet. 6 months to get it happening. Projects funded, boots on the ground. And not just here, obviously, but all over the world. You have to find ways to fund those countries that can't afford to do it for themselves. You have 6 months to persuade the leaders of those countries that their people are crying out for it. You have 6 months to support the people in those countries, to make sure their governments know that that's what they want. And of course it's what they want. They want a comfortable life. We all do. And it doesn't matter how much money you're stashing away. It's not going to make a blind bit of difference to the problems. When the oceans rise, droughts, bushfires, not one bit of difference. So get together and sort yourselves out. Oh, and by the way, if you do your very best and it still doesn't work, believe you me, you won't go down in history for having failed, because there won't be any histories to tell about it. You know this, you've been told before, and you know I'm not exaggerating. So, 6 months to sort it out, while the rest of us all around the world, we will hold you to account. Right, now, hang on, just a minute. Demeter, please, come over here. Come on. Here she is, everybody. The metaphor, in person. Mother Nature herself, the goddess Demeter, also known as Ceres.
Thank you, Helen. Thank you, everybody. Please remember this. Please. The earth will restore itself with or without humanity. But it will happen much faster if you all clean up the mess you have made first. We will do what we can to help you, but you must do it. Thank you. Good night. Thank you.
Gran, that's just wonderful. But how did you get out of there? They said on the news you just disappeared, along with the gods and goddesses.
Oh, Artemis had it all planned. She took Mary and me into an anteroom by the kitchen. She had a change of clothes for me, dungarees, would you believe, and a baseball cap. So I handed the ball gown over to Mary. She didn't want to but I said, look, I'll never wear it again, Mary. I assure you. Oh, thank you so much. That's very kind. Oh, and don't forget your magic brooch. Oh, no. Thank you. Goodbye, my friend.
Au revoir for now, Helen. And well done. Spontaneity forever. You know I'm right.
Here you are, Artemis. Thank you, Helen. I'll take him. Now, down this corridor, there is a car waiting for you. You will be taken to a safe place again. Just a couple of days. And then, what? The next adventure? That, my dear Helen, is entirely up to you. Now, here's your escort. Goodbye. Take care.
Oh, hiya, Mrs. D. You ready to go? Are you hungry? We've got snacks in the car. And we can stop somewhere for coffee if you like.
Renee? What on earth? Oh, never mind. Lead on, young man. Coffee? I love it. How's your Auntie Jean and Uncle Gary?
Oh, they're all good, thanks. And before you ask, school is good too. I'm on a break.
That was A Bit of a Kerfuffle, Part 2, Episode 9 of Season 9, the grand finale. You heard John Warner as Jonathan, Tayo Aluko as Deji, Christopher McDougall as Hermes and as Renee, and me, Floyd Kennedy, as everybody else. The music is by John T LaBarbera from his album In the Labyrinth, available on Bandcamp. I'm going to take a break over the next few weeks from Helen's adventures to focus on a new, entirely different podcast, News of That Anon. In the meantime, please continue to share this podcast with your friends if you think they'd enjoy it. It's the only way I can gain fresh audiences because I just don't have the funds to pay for promotion. And I would be supremely grateful if you were to donate some funds to help out via the website amioldYet.com/donate. It also helps enormously if you rate and review it on your podcasting app or via the reviews page on the website. Thanks for listening. Stay safe.